While the national debate over voting rights remains unsettled, at least for now, a voting measure in New York City is giving hundreds of thousands of green card holders and dreamers access to the ballot box. The New York City Council passed a measure that allows non-citizens to vote in local elections. Now, under this bill, known as Our City, Our Vote, people who have lived in the city for at least 30 days and are legal permanent residents in the United States would be allowed to vote. That includes DACA recipients, green card holders, and people with worker permits. Incoming New York City Mayor Eric Adams supports the bill. He tweeted, "Immigrants make NYC stronger. They should have a say in their government." More than a dozen communities across the United States allow non-citizens to vote in local elections, including 11 different towns in Maryland and 2 towns in Vermont. But New York City is the biggest thus far. There are about 15 million legal non-residents in the United States, and about 800,000 of them live in New York City. Here to explain the significance of this decision in New York is Frankie Miranda, CEO and president of the Hispanic Federation. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, Frankie. Now, this legislation, it goes into effect in January of 2023. Why will non-citizens have to wait so long before they can vote in local elections?
We want to make sure that everybody is comfortable with the process is going to be transparent and making sure that there is a lot of education that needs to take place in our communities. Culturally competent, linguistically competent, and that is why nonprofit organizations like the Hispanic Federation and our members will be working really hand in hand with New York City government to make sure that everybody gets the message and have the opportunity, those that can do it, that can register to vote.
Now, are there currently any restrictions in place that would make voting in local elections difficult for non-citizens?
The important thing to remember here is that there is, as you mentioned, 800,000 legal immigrants in New York City that pay taxes, that provide all sorts of services, are essential workers that do not have the opportunity to voice their concerns during the ballot box. So that is why it's so important that we can continue this education, that we can continue expanding. And this is not a new idea. This is something that is happening in other places, but also traditionally in the United States, immigrants could vote because they were able to prove also that they were contributing to their local municipality. So we're very excited about this process.
And as I understand it, this bill will only allow non-citizens to vote in local elections. But what about state elections that pick the governor, judges, and legislators?
We are hoping that this will become a model that we can continue expanding. But the problem here for those who are saying that non-citizens should not have the right to vote, it is important to know that Congress have not acted on a pathway to citizenship for millions of people that have been waiting in line patiently to become citizens. Some people have argued that if you want to vote, you need to go through the process. Well, many people are waiting in line for a long, long time. It's not as easy as it used to be. So we're hoping that expanding these programs, these criteria for people to vote in New York City is replicated in other parts of the country, and that continues to prove important for our federal elected officials to find a solution to those non-citizens that are legal in this country and, again, pay taxes, contribute to our lives so much. And in many cases, they were essential workers during this pandemic, making sure that we were healthy and staying at home during all of this time.
And Frankie, Mayor Bill de Blasio, he's expressed some concerns. How likely is it that the mayor may veto the bill?
I think that it is important for all of us to continue listening to the concerns of all the sides, all different sides. But at the same time, we just need to understand that every time we give people the opportunity to participate in expressing their voices, in participating more fully in the communities that they live and they serve, it is positive for all of us. As an organization that promotes civic engagement, we want to continue expanding that. That education will be critically important for those who wants to take the step to become citizens. So it is a win-win for all of our communities and also for the city of New York and also for other municipalities that are interested in exploring this idea as well.
Yeah, they can look at New York City as a model. Now, does the bill actually face any legal challenges at the moment?
We're confident that this bill is going to survive. There is a lot of the buying from many sides of our different communities, the nonprofit communities. And as you can see, the city council in New York City voted overwhelmingly for these measures. So I think that this is going to survive and that we're going to see a new era for those that call New York City home to be able to participate fully in the election process.
Well, we'll check it out during January of 2023. Frankie Miranda, thank you so much for coming on and explaining.
Thank you so much.